You know what? This is, as I go through Gary on 21st Avenue, and I'm gonna hit Broadway in a minute, but as yesterday I had a conversation. I was walking through, I was in McDonald's in Miller. I went to go get some coffee last night, and there was a couple guys and a couple older cats, sitting, drinking coffee, just shooting the breeze. And I saw some Cy Smith flyer sit on the table, and I asked them, I was like, I just walked up to him. I was like, "Hey, do you guys think you think this guy has a chance?" And they said, "Absolutely not." And I told him his people such. And I said, "Why is that?" It was like, "Because he's not a Democrat." And I was like, "Really? So because he's not a Democrat, you're saying that he doesn't even have a chance?" And they said, "Well, this is Gary, and ever since I've been here, and I've been here for 50 something years, and one guy had been there, and then I went around and asked the 3 or 4 guys, how long they had lived here, and they said, 50 years, one was 60 years, another guy was like, he was around my age, so he was like 43-ish, maybe been 45 or something like that, and he said, well, I have, they've never seen a person elected to be the mayor of Gary that was not a Democrat. And so I said, so let me ask a question. Because I'm always willing, and I thought that too for a long time. And I understand exactly where they're coming from. But at the same time, now this is 21st in Virginia. We're just looking at these things. And I said, so you're saying that because he's not a Democrat, he doesn't have a chance as an independent candidate, which basically means he doesn't have a tie to, an independent doesn't have a tie to a Democratic Party or a Republican Party. Basically, the Bloods and the Crips, and if their colors are blue and the colors are red, right? So it's about just like the Bloods and the Crips, right? So it's like a game. And I said, so in your 50 years or so, have you seen growth in Gary, or have you seen a decline in Gary? And they said, what type of question are you? How long have you been here? And I said, I'm 43 today, because yesterday was my birthday. And I said, I also haven't seen growth. I've seen decline. And this is Broadway. This is our main corridor from 24th Avenue, and I'm going north. And I said, so and basically it was a setup question, because it's time to start listening. So after I said this, let me just show you how people think, and how their thinking is basically, insanity, right? So, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And this is Broadway, the main corridor down Broadway. And it said, as we head towards City Hall, and he said that since it hasn't, and it's been in Democratic control, all Democratic mayors, and we haven't seen any growth, they all agree with that. And it's been decline, right? More decline than growth, right? Old police station on the right. And the guy says, and these are some knowledgeable guys about the city too, and I want to say that. And he said that, they said that with that, they said with that, I said, so let me ask a question. So if you haven't seen any growth, and it's always been under Democratic control since before you can remember, then, but is that what you want? Do you want to see growth, or do you want to see continuously decline? Because how much worse can it get? And is that something that you want to see for your family members? You know, obviously you guys are a little bit older, so you know you guys might not be living another 40 years or 50 years. But if you have little cousins or little nephews or grandbabies, you know, here's Save More, and they talked about Save More too. We'll get to that in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at BFHS Network. At youtube.com/BFHS Network for the rest of this series. And when I go back up the other block after I get some gas, but the old theater, and this is Broadway. This is downtown. I just passed 8th Avenue. You know, and so basically they said, well, I said, doesn't it make sense to at least listen? Oh, well, you know what? You know, that Cyrus Smith, you know, he don't even have a shot, because not only that, but he ain't even from here. I'm like, he only been here 3 or 4 years. I'm like, what would make you think a person would move to Gary? Do you know any of his background? Do you know any of the good things he's done, right? Because I had to listen. And it wasn't something that I was willing to do either, but I had to listen. So anyway, you know, I said, oh, there's a construction truck. They're building something. Oh, this is a building they gave away. In the city, the taxpayers are going to pay for it. There's City Hall. You know, on the left we got the court. We got the train, the South Shore, and the train. But anyway, so the guy says, I just couldn't understand how you can't not at least take a listen. You know, I'm like, hey, why don't you just go to this website? You got a computer at home, right? You know, go to, you know, friendsofsysmith.com and at least take a listen to what this is 5th Avenue. This is the turnaround at the Genesis Center. And just take a listen, because if the definition of insanity, and I asked him, I said, the definition of sanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result. And then I said, you know, even the incumbent mayor, you know, Karen, she's not even campaigning. You know, it's like, yeah, she ain't worried. She, you know, she's gonna win. You know, and I'm like, so we can get more of the same, because that's insanity. And if you guys think anything different, then you guys are insane. You guys, this whole city should be put into a mental hospital. If you can't listen, I understand that the guy is not from here. I understand that he didn't play Little League baseball with me or at a place where I played. I understand that he didn't go to one of the high schools that I went to, or the best high school in Gary Roosevelt. I understand that he didn't do that, right? But you know, he's done. You know, he's from Chicago, which is like, you know, our cousin. You know, and he spent. You know, he spent a lot of time over here over the last, you know, 9 to 10 years, and he's lived over here twice. You know, and just listen, because you can tell a lot about a person. You know, listen to him, look at his eyes, and then I say, hey, you know what? The worst case scenario, if you want to see some growth, if you want to see a change, then you know what? Sometimes we gotta have to vote for change. You're gonna have to vote for it, because every time somebody, they're talking about how the politics and this and the other, get in, they lie. I said, but you also just said he's not a politician, and they said that he would have a better chance if he ran for a city council or something like that. And I'm like, really? That's full of Democrats. That basically does whatever the mayor wants. You know, here's Save More again. You know, that don't have, you know, and I asked them a question. I said, what's the, you know, how many residents in the city of Gary? And they said about 60, 70,000, you know, and I said, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, it was 4 guys. And I asked them, when's the last time you went grocery shopping? You know, and they were like, you know, on the consensus, it was about a week ago, within the week. And I asked them, where'd they go? One guy said Strax. I said, where's that in Gary? One guy said Town and Country. I said, where's that in Gary? And they said it's not. You know, one's in Hobart, you know, the other one's in Portage. And I said, is that where you guys go on, you know, most of the time? It was like, absolutely. I said, why you don't shop at Country Market or Save More? And they talked about how, you know, none of the meat selection sucks, right? They talked about how, you know, you get the meat selection is the seconds of everything else, and with first prices, right? And I'm like, why isn't there a grocery store with fresh meat, healthy looking meat in the city? But you have a mayor. I guarantee you the mayor doesn't even shop in Gary for her food. But it makes sense to not even listen to a person who may have a plan. I mean, I'm talking about a real plan, and a plan that's actionable. Because do you know that the people who have been running the city of Gary, if they ran a major corporation like Coca-Cola or Google or Microsoft or Pepsi or any one of these major companies or Ford, they would be fired. Fired for lack of growth. Guys, just listen. You gotta at least pay attention. You know, I would say share this video. Just hit share. Let people argue about it. Because you know what? November 3rd is coming up. And if you want to see change, they talked about Douglas Wright, said that he's a Republican. It says independent, so they don't even know. Oh, they talked, and you know, this is what I'm talking about. You know, you look at the grocery stores, you look at all these different stores, a lot of these stores, and none of them are owned by Gary residents. They're bloodsuckers. They're sucking the blood out of the city and taking it to where they lay their heads down. This is not the city that I grew up in. This is not the city. When I would drive down Broadway, walk down Broadway, ride my bike down Broadway, and go shop at stores, they were black owned by residents. This is not the city I grew up in. This is not the city you grew up in. But you know what? We continue to make a decline. And one guy pointed out that all the good people have moved out. You know, and all we got is bad people. And I just kind of chuckled. And one of these guys was a police officer. And I was like, You know, I said, you know what? What you said makes a lot of sense. But what happened is, you know, what moved out, it wasn't all the good people. What moved out was the people who really wanted, you know, a better education for their children. You know, because the Gary School Corporation sucks. And I'm sorry, it does. It does. They moved out because they wanted to be able to lay their heads down in peace and quiet. There's nothing wrong with that. Those are things that the Constitution of the United States says we should have. Peace, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. Who wants to wake up paying X amount of dollars for a mortgage on a monthly basis for 30 plus years, because most people refinance their houses? Who wants to do that and be unhappy every day, or have to worry about somebody kicking in their freaking door, or somebody stealing their car, breaking in their house, and they leave? My house got broken into in 2008. They stole everything in it. Everything. If I didn't know that was my house, I'd have thought I was evicted. And then when the police walked through, and I walked through with the police, they asked me first question is, how long you been gone? It doesn't matter. It's my house. My house. I could have left the door open. The door open. But guess what? Somebody broke into it. And they took everything. Couches, love seat. I understand you break in the house. I expect, you know, electronics to be gone. But couches, love seat, mattresses, dresser? Are you freaking kidding me? I was looking for a big pile outside. And this is IUN, and I'm gonna change this video in a minute. I'm gonna do part 2 because this is ridiculous. I'm gonna go all the way down through Glen Park. I'm just gonna pull over real quick. All these people that come to the city, you know, to go to school. We got a college. We got 2 colleges here. But anyway, we not getting any of these dollars before these people leave back out of the city. None. But I bet you if you go to these other cities, I bet you go, go look at where Purdue Cal is and whatnot. I bet you see things like that. But anyway, y'all, I'm out of here. See part 2. You can check the Facebook page. It'll be part 2, or youtube.com/BFHS Network. At least give them a chance. At least listen to them. There's a mirror debate at IUN right here. If I'm not mistaken, I think it is at IUN. It's at 10 o'clock on Saturday. I think that's November 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Or Halloween 31st. Yeah. First is, the 31st. Anyway, peace out, y'all. Thanks for watching.